Hey, welcome back to Say Mojo Homestead. We are on our way to pick up some plants.
Going to the Herb Festival.
Yes.
In Lexington.
Yeah.
Not to be mistaken with herb. Here in the United States, two very different meanings.
Yes. I really want to beef up our tea garden this year. Tea has been a really big part of our family, has become kind of our nighttime tradition, but also it's how I help our immune systems and to keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah, and we also have some culinary herbs that have just kind of died out. One of them, which is one I really like to use, is marjoram. We lost it in the freeze. It is not coming back. It's completely knocked it back. So that's one that I want to replace. And then maybe just look at some others just to versify our herb cabinet.
Yes. Yeah. So we really have found that having fresh herbs on hand is a game changer in the kitchen for sure.
They have a huge diversity of different herbs, culinary herbs, medicinal herbs, all of those things, and it's all in one place. So it's just always fun to go to. And then we are also doing kind of a big harvest in our garden this year from the winter garden. A lot of cabbage. We're going to start working on putting that away. Making sauerkraut. Going to bring you guys along for that.
Yeah.
That is a favorite in our house.
Yep.
So, yeah, we got a busy, fun weekend. We also got some prep work to do for our supper club.
Yeah.
We made it back home. That was a ton of fun. Got to see a couple of people. We ran into Homesteading in Hungary. We ran into Willowbrook Homestead and Rochelle. Oh, and we also saw Herbal Garden. Ooh, I think I got that name right. Homestead. So that was a ton of fun just getting to see them. And we ran into a couple other people that we know. It's raining. I'm going to try to be quick on this, but right now I'm out here to get this cabbage so that we can get our first round of sauerkraut started. We also need to pick some cabbage for tomorrow night's dinner. When we're having some friends over, we're going to do kind of an Irish theme to it. Sorry, I'm like trying to find the best cabbages and distracted by the rain and distracted by talking to you guys. So, but anyways, yeah, so I'm going to put you guys down so I can get this done quick because I don't want to get too wet out here and it is kind of a cold rain. All right, we got some good looking cabbages in there. Not quite as many as I thought once I really started looking at them. The heads on several of those that I thought were going to be ready were not quite to the size that I would like for them to be. So we'll see. We'll see how many we've got. I need at least probably 2 to cook, and then the rest, whew, it's chilly. It's not chilly, but the rain is chilly. The rest are going to be used to make our sauerkraut.
Super excited about this. We had cabbages 2 years ago that we fermented and made sauerkraut, and we were able to make so much. It lasted us for 2 years. Our family really likes sauerkraut, so we grew cabbage this year specifically, or at least that was my motivation, was to get sauerkraut. A little bit about what we're doing with these to make sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is just a fermented food. Fermentation is great for you. It's a traditional way of preserving your harvest, especially when they didn't have pressure canners and all those things. When you ferment a food, you cover it in the salt and you crush it. That salt draws the liquid out of your vegetable or whatever you're fermenting, and then it creates its own natural liquid from these juices. You let them sit on the counter, and then all of this really great beneficial bacteria starts to grow. Now, there are a few things you have to be careful about. You have to make sure your vegetables stay under that liquid. If you have to add a little bit of water, you can. But the biggest, most important thing I can say about it is find a reputable recipe. I don't want to just go to someone's random recipe that I don't really know anything about, because this is a process where we're leaving food on the counter. And while we know a fair amount about fermenting, we've been to a fermenting workshop and we have fermented a lot of foods. This is the first thing we're fermenting this year. One thing I will say that we added to our kitchen that I'm really excited about is this fermentation crock. And what I'm really excited about with this is that it came with 2 weights. So we've done the whole, like, put a cabbage leaf on top of your vegetables to keep them submerged. We've also put in like clean sterilized stones. We've also done like lids or plates, like basically anything we could find to submerge the food under the liquid. Now this came with these 2 weights, so it kind of does the job for us. The other thing I love about this is it has a lid you put on top. So you put the lid on and you fill it with water and it creates a water seal. So no air gets in there. You don't risk that bad bacteria getting into your foods. Excuse the noise in the background. Jeremy is actually slicing the cabbage. So we have a supper club we're hosting on Sunday, and we're going to fry cabbage there. This is actually more of a traditional Irish way of eating cabbage, is to fry it with bacon. So we're gonna try that. And also our family really likes like boiled cabbage, steamed cabbage, roasted cabbage. We're big cabbage eaters. So we will ferment some of it, most of it probably just for preservation purposes. But I also want to enjoy eating as much fresh cabbage as I can while we have it.
What'd you think of that slicer?
That was good. I pulled some out of there.
Oh, good. Be careful, there's a blade in there. Okay, what we're gonna do, Joe, is cut these up into smaller pieces, these flat leaves, and then we're gonna put it in the crock, which I'll pass it to you, and then you're gonna use this and start smushing it up, and Mom's gonna get salt and start adding salt to it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put in some salt. I'm gonna put in some salt. So pick it up, yep. And this, the recipe says sea salt.
Watch out. Pick it
Watch
up.
out, buddy. We're using pink Himalayan sea salt because that's what we have in our kitchen. The biggest thing is you don't want any salt with any additives or anything like that.
And that goes with any time you're doing any kind of canning or fermenting. Those additives just can really mess with that preservation process. So cutting it up, if you are completely new to this, then with cabbage, you want to core it. So you want to get the middle out, and then just slice it really thin so you have these thin ribbons. I am then cutting these ribbons in half just so we don't have like really super long pieces of sauerkraut, because that can get a little bit difficult to eat. A lot of times we'll just do it with like bratwurst or something like that. So we want it to be a little bit smaller than the full length of one of these ribbons. Joe, did you have fun today at the herb sale? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What was your favorite part?
Getting to pick out my tea.
Getting to pick out your tea. Mm-hmm. Joe picked out a really interesting, he wanted 2 different ones, but really the reason he liked both of them was because they had green and white leaves. So he wanted a pineapple mint. And we already have a lot of mint, so I may have traded it out for the other one. And we got an edible geranium, which I had never heard of, don't really know that much about, so we're gonna have to look into that and see what we can use it for and what it would be good for. Whoa, getting their cabbage. The other one that we got that none of us have any idea about is called a mushroom plant. It's a shade plant, that's all I know because I read the tag. And the leaves do kind of have a hint of kind of that earthy mushroom kind of flavor. The description said it's good to use in soups and stuff. So that was really just kind of a fun one that we just got to try and see what we think of it.
I'm really excited about it because I love the flavor of a mushroom, but I don't always like the squishiness, the meat,
The texture
of a mushroom. I like a bell, like if it's been roasted or something like that. I just don't like that spongy texture. So I'm really excited that maybe I can use this in soups and places that I love to have the mushroom flavor, but don't necessarily want to eat a mushroom. It is kind of weird though, because I do like mushrooms in place of like meat. Like if we grind them down and use them as like a meat substitute. I don't
Wait,
really
when have you ground down a mushroom without telling me? Because I never knew that we ground mushrooms like meat.
So when I haven't done it recently, but when we were in the condo, I would go to 14 Karat and I would get the portobello mushrooms, and for tacos or for even a meatloaf.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
How did
I remember
you
us
not know that?
finally chopping them. Is that what you're talking about?
No, we have that
Yeah,
meat
never knew that.
we have like a KitchenAid attachment that
Might be a good way to sneak it in because I didn't know it. And I mean, I like mushrooms, but I didn't notice anything different. I would say if you're going to sneak it in, definitely something like tacos that's going to be heavily seasoned and disguise that. But hey, I mean, I'm not complaining.
But they're small and you saute them. So they're small pieces and you saute them or cook them down in the skillet. So it kind of has that consistency of like a ground beef.
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Just didn't know that we'd ever done that.
Surprise!
When you learn things about your wife 17 years into your marriage.
But this was probably only like 7 years ago.
You know.
So you ready to do some highs and lows?
Let's do it.
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Okay. So my high was probably the herb festival. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Got to see people. I got to even meet some people that we're connected with from social media that I have never met before. So that was really exciting.
Herbal gardening.
Yes, thank you
Shout out
for
to you.
stopping and saying hi to us. That was awesome. My low would probably be, so it's kind of like a mixed low. The girls are on retreat. So I'm excited for them to be away and have that time, but I miss them.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely for their benefit.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that they are able to go on this retreat.
My other low was that our dryer went out.
Yes, it did.
And as much as I love a clothesline, I don't love a clothesline when it's raining.
Right. It's been raining all weekend, so, and weekend is usually when we do the bulk of our laundry, so it is.
Yeah. A little damper.
My low is that the baby goat that we're going to keep, Luna, really started showing signs of being sick and stuff. I guess it was probably last weekend. So we brought her inside. She's been inside all day. I mean, all week.
Yeah.
But she's getting better.
She
that
is.
is. But the low was like, it really was touch and go. Like when we first had to bring her in, John was asking like, what percentage do you give her like for recovering? I was like, honestly, probably 30.
We just didn't know.
She ended up being constipated. We think she was also deficient in selenium. So we treated for both of those. Her mom, Esther, she has 3 babies and she's our smallest goat.
Yeah.
And Luna, the one we're keeping, was definitely kind of the last to the teats. And Esther wasn't the best at being patient about letting all the babies nurse.
Yeah.
And so Luna was forced to go start on like real food, hay and stuff early without all of the other milk coming in. So it really just got her constipated. And then from there, I think everything else sort of went downhill. But she's doing a lot better. And that's my high, I think, is that she is recovering and looking really good.
Yeah.
Body shape, all of that, poo, everything's back to normal.
Yep.
She's just trying to get her energy back up. She's still pretty low on energy and seems to be just kind of weak in the muscles, which would be because of the selenium.
Right.
But she is definitely recovering.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is really exciting.
Yeah, she's acting more like a goat now, so that's encouraging.
All right, so yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for following along on this journey with us. If you're new, welcome to the channel. We'd love for you to consider subscribing, hit that like button. As always, we'd love to hear your comments, your feedback, so do that as well. So until next time, guys, have a great week and be blessed.